Welcome to the Marvel Cinematic University podcast. I'm your host Anthony Canton III. And folks, there was a while back in 2018 where three people came together to do a podcast called Marvel Cinematic University. And while it's not the exact date of the anniversary of our eighth anniversary, we figured it'd be just as good of a time to reunite the OG3 together to just have a nice little time, share some old memories and share some thoughts and talk about some MCU stuff. So I'm gonna forego Patreon. Y'all know it. We do stuff on Patreon. We do that stuff. YouTube, if you're watching, like, comment, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. With that being said, let me introduce the super producer Jake Christie. Jake, how are you?
I'm doing well. The college football national title is on, which I forgot to mention when we were texting, because y'all are a Canadian and someone from the Northeast, so you don't know about America's real sport. So if Indiana wins, I'll be doing better. But I'm happy to be celebrating this anniversary with you guys.
Oh, okay. So clearly not a Miami fan.
No, I mean I root for the Gators, and so no, definitely not.
Absolutely not. And so, with that being said, we introduced the our friend, our pal, our former third member of this thing. The moonwalking maven, I used to call him. His name is that goddamn Black Dragon Roll, Jerome Cheng. Jerome, how you doing, sir?
What's college football?
Yeah, same
Exactly.
note too.
Yeah.
Same note too. What-
No,
what's-
what's up, guys? It's been a minute. How are y'all?
We're doing great.
Doing
very
good,
excited.
man. Yeah, 2026. We are in the year. The clock is ticking on the whole doomsday clock is ticking.
Yes. No,
Uh,
I've noticed it. I have admittedly been pretty out of the loop when it came to MCU and just the various things going on, whether it's been like the movies or the shows. But I don't think there've been many shows of during this time. But like, yeah, I'm literally like staring like, did I watch these things? And I did watch most of these things. But no, I'm really happy to you know, catch up with you guys. Actually, I think I might be the closest to it like getting near any Spider-Man stuff because I happened to have been in Glasgow while they were filming during the time. So I saw some of the action.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, so before we even get into any old memories and other MCU stuff, please do tell us what did you see over there?
Honestly, I like it is pretty gated off for the most part. And if you really wanted to like stick around like the whole day, you probably could have caught some of the action. Thankfully, I my hotel was close enough that I'd always walk by set, which was really cool. And then it was on the last day that I actually saw what I could only assume was Tom Holland in the Spidey suit, just like
Mhm.
posing, doing his thing, greeting people, waving. Honestly, I think the best part of it was really just seeing like all the like kids around dressed up as Spider-Man and just like waiting to see. It was just like such a wholesome thing. Um, you know, I guess like when MCU started, like we obviously had live action Marvel and comic book films for a good long time. I think, you know, it happened in parts during stuff before MCU, but I think once MCU really got in there and there was the consistency around it, I think, especially for AC, who was such a big comic book fan, it was really a
Mhm.
feeling of like actually seeing this come to life on screen and actually see it in a way where like when you're watching, you're like, no, that's Captain America, that's Iron Man,
Right.
that's Thor, that's the Hulk. Well, that was the Hulk, and then that became the Hulk, and then we were really settled on Mark Ruffalo, but that was the Hulk right there. Um, but the other part that I just didn't put together is just like where we're kind of at with this post Endgame generation of fans is just
Mhm.
for as much as like we love to talk about these films and for as much as they brought us like personal joy, really the magic of it is for what it does for like children and to see a child just like look up and be like, that's Spider-Man. That person who is swinging across the street right now is Spider-Man. It's incredible. You can't change anything about that.
no,
The-
and I think that
yeah.
it is just we talked about it ad nauseum, but like that is the power of shooting this movie, even though they're not shooting it in New York because not even Disney has that kind of money.
Right.
The shooting it in on the streets of Glasgow and not in a green screen in Atlanta, like that's the beauty of it. And I think that those pictures and the stories like that, I think get the Tom Holland Spider-Man so much goodwill. And like he's kind of built that reputation up of being the guy who even when he's clearly doesn't want to be doing this forever, I think you just always get the impression that he loves the aspect where he gets to meet the kids and stuff like that. And so seeing those
He
photos
actually
and see
understands the great power and responsibility.
Yeah.
exactly more so than, and that's not to cast aspersions on the other two Spider-Man, but like I think that because Tom Holland was like a nobody and then became Spider-Man in a way that the other two weren't, I think he really understands that that's part of it, and I think it lends itself so well to Spider-Man as a character because in universe, Spider-Man is the character who would take the time to say hi to kids. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, and that's why it's always so nice to see those photos where it's like, yeah, if Spider-Man was real, he would be like, gotta run, kids, I gotta stop Doc Ock. You know what I mean? Like, that's his vibe.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think there's something to be said for Tom Holland's wholesomeness and all of those things, adding to what is in particular to be what has people excited because people are very excited for this movie and Tom Holland obviously coming back and all of the elements being added into this film. So I mean, it's a great feeling coming into the year knowing that you got your heaviest hitters coming out and we'll see what comes of it this summer and this winter. But it should be very exciting for sure. Absolutely. So, Jerome, I want to ask you. I want to ask you a particular question about the Avengers Doomsday stuff. Have you
Okay.
seen? Have you seen of? You said you saw most of the stuff. Have you seen of the teasers?
I've seen the teasers. Yeah.
Give me. Give me.
We're looking
Yeah.
at okay, just to remind me to make sure I didn't miss any. Like, what are the teasers that we have seen so far?
All right, we got Captain America, we got
Yeah.
Thor,
Yeah.
we got Black Panther, we got Black Panther and the Fantastic Four, and we
Yeah.
have the X-Men.
Yep. I've seen all those.
Wonderful. So, what would you say were your general thoughts about those teasers?
I feel like one I think the one that like stands out more than any is really just the X-Men one for me.
Yeah.
That's the one where quite frankly, it's like it's about time. And it's funny because obviously we've seen these characters show up in different forms, whether it's like Multiverse of Madness, whether it's Deadpool and Wolverine, um, whether it's the post-credit scene of the Marvels. Like, I think it's just getting to see all that. And then I think like more than anything, for anyone who's been a fan of like the early like Bryan Singer run of X-Men films, like Cyclops was done dirty. And not even like that
Oh
he was
yeah.
done dirty in
Yeah.
X3. Like frankly, and a huge credit to Hugh Jackman and his Wolverine character, he became such a big deal that people forgot that Cyclops is the leader of the X-Men. And so just for the opportunity, like we got to see it when it came to X-Men 97, which also, fun fact, shout out my friend Paget. I found out that my friend's dad is the voice of Mr. Sinister.
Wow.
Oh wow.
That's just
honestly,
so right. Yeah.
honestly, great job. Yeah, that's an
Great job.
incredible performance.
Yes, it was a fantastic,
Goodness
like
gracious, yeah.
across the original series and into this one now. But anyway, back to it. Yeah, I think it's just this thing when it comes to the X-Men, and there's been so many iterations of it that, like, you know, over and over, very similar to what we actually did experience with Spider-Man and like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, is like we've gotten good iterations of it, but we haven't gotten like Marvel iterations of it. And so just to be able to get that, just to see him in his like blue and yellow suit, just to see him, like, it's just incredible scene. And then not gonna lie, I don't know, like for the amount of times we actually have been like rolled out with both Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, this
Yeah.
one felt a little emotional. This one felt nice. And so, you know, I forget in this group, I think Jake, you've been a bit of a Fast and Furious guy, no?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Absolutely.
we did all of them on Patreon.
There you
Yes.
go. Yeah, the idea that, you know, he's gonna pull his little like wheelchair and go for one last ride. I'm really into that. So I think it was impressive in that I was able to actually see Cyclops as Cyclops should be, but it was also impressive in the way that I did not feel the exhaustion of seeing them brought out again in another iteration. And for the rest of it, I mean, I think the Captain America one, I think that's more about just the idea of like confirming Chris Evans is a part of it, which is
Yes.
cool. And I think that's good news. I think that's kind of also the tough part about living in this era where we kind of get the news before we get the actual official
Great
release.
point. Mhm.
it's just like, oh yeah, this confirms it. You know, I like, as someone who's become a wrestling fan again, like it's just more like, okay, now we've seen actually on the TV itself, which is
Yes.
great. Um, the Thor one, I think the Thor one just feels like we'll get to kind of course correct a little bit from Love and Thunder. Is that what it was
Yes.
called? And
Yep.
then, and just kind of be reminded that like Hemsworth as Thor is like one of the best characters in the series,
Mhm.
and so just kind of get him getting a proper run is great. And then the last one, I don't know, the last one was just like sure,
I think it
and
was just
everyone else
putting
is
new
here.
people to
Yeah,
get putting new
I
people
think you
together.
kind of
Yeah.
got. I think we kind of got it. What we established is, and I think that I says this to like one line with each one. Like the first one, the Captain America one, was to tell people Chris Evans is in the movie. The Thor one was to remind people that Thor can be serious. The
Yeah.
X-Men one was to tell people the X-Men are in it and we're doing them right. And then
Yeah.
the last one was to remind people the cool thing about these movies is that random
It's
characters.
a crossover. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think that like, the main point of that was to be like, and remember, guys, we're gonna see crossovers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
It
yes.
really is like actually like a marketing pitch. Like we just got to like slide 4
Yeah.
crossovers.
Yeah,
And-
and honestly, not bad. Like I
Not
think as a we were originally skeptical. I think in some ways of the trailers being 4 different ones like that. Like you
Yes.
know,
Yeah,
but I think it ended up working out. I think they definitely did them in the right order, and I think it ended
Sure.
up working out pretty well. It gave it like a month of people talking about Doomsday.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I will say, funny enough, like while I
Mhm.
didn't expect the crossover element being there, I was already just excited to see M'Baku back. I was just like, yeah,
super
King
excited.
M'Baku, you know?
They now king of Wakanda.
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
M'Baku might have the biggest gap in terms of how much people like him. That whenever I see like people are like deep comic book Twitter, there's so much like I can't believe M'Baku's the freaking king. Like, but it's like honestly,
Right.
movie
So
fans, particularly like
terrible,
Black Twitter, is
awful.
like hell yeah, we love M'Baku, Winston
Yeah.
Duke, and I'm like, you're damn right, he's awesome.
Damn right. Exactly.
just-
No,
I
but
just-
that's a perfect way to summarize it, Jake.
All right, Jerome. Let me ask you. I want to posit a theory that I've had regarding Cap, Steve Rogers. I have said that this man was too horny at work,
Okay.
and he might have messed up the multiverse by being too horny at work. So what
Being
would you?
too horny. Okay, but like being too horny in what way? Just because like he went
He went back in
Okay.
time, and now he has a kid with
Yeah.
Peggy, and I'm sure Doctor Doom and Loki gonna pay his ass a visit.
I agree that probably sounds like the premise, but for how messy and this is like outside of it, like
Mhm.
Marvel has handled the MCU, what a cop out to blame Cap. Like what a cop out to
Also,
blame
he's
Cap.
not the only
you know?
person to be horny at work. Like, lest we forget,
Yes.
like Tony Stark didn't meet Pepper Potts at a singles bar. Like, let's
Right,
not.
right.
But he didn't cause the multiverse to collapse. That's
Yeah,
what
but
I'm
I mean,
saying.
I know.
I think what we need you guys to do, if we're really
Yes.
gonna say that's the premise, is
It's my
actually
premise,
rank
yes.
out who screwed up like the multiverse the most of the bunch, because everyone fucked up the multiverse.
This is a great idea. Thank you for giving us that.
It's like I think like I'm now doing like a podcast with my friends like Will Liu and Alex Wong, and every time like during the last NBA playoffs, whenever a team got eliminated, we would
Mhm.
do a blame pie, which is I think also like a Bill Simmons ringer thing. But
Yes.
we'd actually like pull up a pie chart and like
Mhm.
list out and give percentages and like visually
That's not a
see
bad
like
idea.
who's to blame.
I like this.
Let's not
So-
burn it right now, though. Let's keep. That's a
Yes.
good idea.
No,
for
we're
a
not
pod.
going to do it here. Like
Of course,
that's for
no,
you
no.
guys to do because I just don't know it well enough to be able to. But quite frankly, if you're going to tell me like absolutely Cap, I mean that's the thing. Cap already like going back at the end of Endgame was like fucking shit up intentionally. Like he knew what he was doing. So, but then like the entire premise of Endgame is fucking shit up in the multiverse. So
exactly.
like if
Mess
I'm
with
Cap
time
in
is
that
best as
scenario,
bad. Yeah.
I'm almost just like, well, we made it this far. I might as well
Yeah.
get some.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, yeah, it's
Like if I can't get laid for saving half of the universe, if I can't get my half for saving half of humanity,
yeah.
Mhm.
The
then
thing is,
like
I don't find it. The big thing is, I don't find it irrational at all. I mean, I've seen Haley Atwell before.
here's my pushback for you, AC. Here's my pushback. You put yourself put everyone together in a room, like all the Avengers, whoever they are right now.
What's up? What's
you know,
up? Yeah.
assemble, and they all gather here, and they're just like, Cap, we all have to talk to you about this thing, and they break down that like for him to have a family, and to hook up with Agent Carter, like they're all gonna look around and be like, is that really what did it?
Yeah.
Is that really what did it? Also, if it really is what did it, are we like gonna, you know what I mean? Like,
I
I mean,
wanted some of
like,
that life Tony had. Oh, you sure
yeah.
got it,
I guess
buddy.
that's what makes Spider-Man so honorable because he gave up his ability to hook up.
That's right. Peter Parker, real struggle king, right
Yeah,
here.
struggle king
In
right
these
there.
struggle
Yeah,
king.
but the thing
in these
is, Peter Parker is
yeah.
still like a teenager, though. He's got his
True,
life
true,
ahead of
true.
him. Whereas,
Oh, you think
Steve
that's a
Rogers is
move?
like, I'm 100 years old. No one understands me. The closest I've gotten having a real relationship is with my ex Flame's great niece. This is a problem.
So what you're positing, Jake, is Peter Parker is not actually a noble and honorable person.
No, he is.
Wait,
He
wait,
is.
wait. Hear me out. But what had happened by asking Doctor Strange to do this spell
Mhm.
was like the largest ghosting someone has ever done
Yo.
I mean,
of someone
yes.
that of a situationship they try to get out of.
It's such a ghosting that the person being ghosted doesn't even know it's happening.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Okay.
Short answer is it's not on Cap.
But I do appreciate the idea of the blame pie. Dutifully noted and filed away. So guys, I wanted to take a trip down memory lane because I was thinking about it the other day because I went back and listened to a couple of the
Oh, can I just
earlier.
insert like a quick behind the scenes of like AC asking me to do this like last week?
Oh yeah. Go
Like
ahead.
just like in the texting, I just want to recount how the texting went. He just went
Mhm.
like, "Yo, it's been a bit of a like we're on our anniversary," and I thought it was like a big milestone, like we're like 10 years in or something like that. Which
No,
like I knew
nothing.
it wasn't the case because like 2018. But like when he wrote down anniversary, I suddenly had like the panic of a neglectful like husband, and I just wrote back in question like with a question mark like, happy anniversary question mark. Is it today? And he's like, no, it's not today. And it's like, okay.
No. It's
Yeah.
next week. Actually,
Tell
it's
us
next
about,
Monday.
It's next week, but we'll be deep in Wonder Man, so I think it was.
That's why we're doing
that's what it was.
doing
Yeah,
this
yeah.
week because Wonder Man's coming out next
All
week.
right, so Wonder Man next week, the Wonder Years right now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. So I went back
And Jerome, you're going to be Danica McKellar, right?
Oh man.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I went back and listened to a couple of our beginning stuff, and it's so fun to go back. I sound so much younger. It's great.
I do as well in a way that I don't like. I don't like the way I sound then. I don't like the way I sound now, but I like that even less.
I had this like prepared joke, but like AC doesn't actually look like crazy old from like the last time I saw him. But, like he looks like the same, like he's still the same dude. But I really wanted to be like, yo, did AC go back in time and come back like the end of Endgame Cap?
I mean,
there is there is a demarcation from 2019 for me to from when Josiah was born and then to now where I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
this
it was
is
called
two
the
different.
pandemic, man.
Yeah, that part too.
Yeah.
But you add two
being a
kids
father,
onto it.
yeah.
Yeah, you were a
two
father,
kids
yeah.
onto that. So
can I give a quick backstory though to the show? Because I feel like
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
always
go for it,
asking
go for it.
how
Oh,
else we
yeah.
disparate people.
especially
I
the new
guess it's
listeners,
been
we
long
have to-
enough that people don't really know how this came
No,
about.
Definitely, it's
Yeah.
definitely been long enough.
Yeah.
So basically, we were all in a group chat called the Solid Dudes group chat, which was
That's
a group
right.
chat among like tertiary characters to the Leverage the Chat Basketball Friends Basketball Analogy podcast. Started off
Yeah.
as the True Hoop podcast.
Well, they were
on,
also
ESPN.
like by the title itself of that group, it was just like designated by the people who were on the show as like these are solid dudes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we all had gotten involved in the show in various ways, like AC through his poetry, me because I was counting the dings. Jerome, I actually forget how you first got involved, but
Mostly just editing. Like I was
Okay,
doing
yeah.
all these like Twitter
Got it.
edits and things like that, and then so
And then he
like,
sounds like Kevin Pelton. So
and
Yeah,
I sound
exactly.
like Kevin Pelton.
And so we were in that chat, and AC at the time had his podcast, AC Spotlight, and he said
right.
before Infinity War, he wanted to do a
Yeah.
podcast. He wanted to rewatch all the Marvel movies and do a podcast about it. And I, because I was honestly like bored and needed stuff to fill my time, said, "What if you do one episode per movie?" And then that became like, what if it was a separate podcast? And then Jerome had also expressed interest in the MCU, and so we kind of like coerced.
but it
him.
wasn't to that level as we were.
No, wait.
That's the
yeah,
fun
okay.
part.
To fill in where how I so the chat was happening, like this is all happening in the Solid Dudes chat, but very much like any group chat like that is very active.
Yes.
Some of us muted chat, so I was just following along here and there, and I think what had happened was I did recall you guys talking about it, and very much similar to how our show kind of ended up being in terms of the dynamics. You guys would talk about it, and then every like fourth or fifth message about the MCU, I just quip about something.
Yes.
And then I think you guys kind of put together like, oh, Jerome's kind of like into MCU too. And then so you reached out to me on the side saying like how willing I'd be to like be a part of it.
Yes.
Yes, and so that's where we started. And the thing I will recall, I haven't listened to the original episodes in like the last year, but the thing whenever I have gone back to them, it's like, wow, I was just so blatantly, as the producer, ripping off the rewatchables. That's all I was doing, and it's fine that I was doing that, but that's what I was
Right.
doing. Where I was really trying to. But I think the thing that's important to
But we needed a
realize,
structure.
exactly. What I was going to say is
Yeah.
that
We had categories back
we had basically never spoken to each other at any length of time before we started doing the show.
I know.
Yeah, it was
and
really
so-
smooth. I think that was the thing that we took away from the very first episode.
Yeah.
Like I remember us talking about it right after the recording of like, yeah, that just went smoothly. Like I don't think you had to
Yeah.
do many of any
No.
real cuts. I think the
No,
chemistry and the balance of speaking was really good, and everyone kind of spoke to different parts.
And that's why the categories were so helpful.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. So
anyway, you were saying, AC,
yeah.
you were listening to the older episodes, and
So to the older episodes, and yeah, that part. I mean, me sounding younger. I think to your both of your guys' point, that was very surprising how easy it felt.
It was super smooth. Yeah,
doing those conversations, and I just remember, and 2018 was crazy because we started in January with Iron Man, and we started January 26th. So that was the first episode. So the crazy part, like Infinity War is in April, so we got to do these, and we had never had been.
Well, we timed it almost exactly that it was going to be, so there wouldn't be any breaks in between. That we would start on a particular date, and if we did it at the pace that we wanted to, which is what, once a week or once a month, I forget what it was.
No, it was definitely once a week. Yeah,
once a week, right? Yeah, that makes more sense.
A couple times we did 2 times a week, and then kind of spread them out.
Right. Yeah. But like in order to do that, like we were doing that and then getting to that point where like we'd essentially be right on schedule while keeping up a content output. Yeah.
We hit the target. And then on top of that, like I just remember we did pre-Infinity War stuff where we had like 10
we did
people
multiple ones. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd had 10 people on the chat at the same time, and we was going like 2 hours and change.
Right.
Just riffing and stuff like that. Yeah. And I think throughout that time it was such an interesting time and dynamic. And what I didn't realize, and to this day, I still feel this way. I think the podcast is actually, like, in a lot of ways the best thing that happened to me and for me, because it was a place where I could kind of just like hone the stuff that I love to talk about and have it. And also I think more so than anything, it taught me a lot about working together with people in my adult age, as opposed to just just when you're younger. Obviously you have stuff that you do with your siblings and stuff like that and your friends, but this was yeah, that too. And then I think it's different where you get, and I don't know you guys like that. I think highly of you guys, but I don't know you guys in particular, but we all got to know each other through doing the show. And I also think it kind of helped like cultivate a nice little community that we've developed to this day, that I think I feel great about, like our patrons in our Discord. And that, I feel like I just ultimately wanted to say that I feel grateful for this show, because it's like opened up so many. It's more so than anything else that's happened in actual. I think just as a person, I feel like it's actually made me a more worldly person in its own way, which I think
find it. What I found, like thinking back at the beginning of it, because like for better or worse, and a lot of times at the beginning of the show for worse, I'm like a born yapper. I've never really had trouble, expressing myself. It's to the detriment of other people. I think Jerome was decent, and I think AC, I definitely noticed, especially after the first couple of years, how much better you came at coming out of your shell. And I think a big turning point for the show, because like I think I will say, is after Infinity War, if you look, like I have I have a spreadsheet with every episode we've ever done. Like they were like sporadic and like unclear what we were doing, especially after Infinity War, and then after Endgame, especially like what we're gonna do. And we were like doing like an episode a month, if that, going back to old movies. And I think that there definitely is a universe where we just stopped doing the show.
No,
And I
absolutely.
and I think in a lot of ways, the pandemic, we both the fact that there was both no content coming out,
Hmm.
but also we had nothing else to do, forced us to like indulge in the bullshit, which I think found the
Yes.
voice of the
Right.
show.
Yeah.
Because like
Yes.
the thing I always said whenever I try to talk about the show to people is like the actual like best analysis of the hundreds of years of comics and the hundreds of years of filmmaking is not a thing that we have. The thing that
Yeah.
I think we have is our voice and how we get along
Yeah.
and the voice of the people in our communities. You know, people have become part of the family of the show. And I think that so much of that is owed to the time where we just had to make content out of nothing. Because like I don't know. I've said before that like there are two really types of podcasts. There are hangout podcasts and informative podcasts, and I
Yeah.
think we kind of were trying to be a little bit of an informative podcast to begin with. And I just don't think that that's where our
Mm,
strength is. Like our strength is being the people you hang out with after seeing a movie that you want to have a conversation with, not like the guy who's going to give you the expert breakdown of everything that you know. We can give some of that, but I think when we were kind of forced to just be like your friends talking about movies, I think that that's where we found our strength, and that's when
right.
we where like, I think that we got another side of UAC and Jerome, you and I like indulged in our bullshit in a way that was funny, and we
You're right.
hit on a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
dynamics that weren't there before. And
Well,
so
I
yeah,
think the thing I'll say to Jake's point, like the thing that you two did for me was I did lean towards because I love it so much. I did lean into the hey, this happened here and this happened here and Easter egg here and Easter egg
Sure.
here.
Yeah.
And then because y'all were on the whole, let's do what you call let's kind of have more fun and stuff like that. As my wife pantomimes my movements and stuff right now
yeah.
as she walks
Shout
by.
out to talking with
Uh,
your hands. You're good company.
Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So so with that being said, like I think
Someone's
it was
looking at your
I think
Infinity Gauntlet that you got on
you
there.
two were you.
Well, because the thing is, I think what happened, like, because when I think about Easter eggs,
You just broke me, man.
I think about
You
the
always do it.
WandaVision Easter egg stuff, and I think that that like worked really
Oh
well
yeah. Yeah.
because you were actually
Yeah.
giving Easter eggs, but it was
Yes.
done in the tone of like it was done in the tone of like this is your friend who like hyperfixates on stuff and it's fun to talk
Yes.
about. It
Sure.
wasn't
Yeah.
like it wasn't done with like those videos with like the annoying headline thumbnails of like 27 Easter eggs you missed in WandaVision. You know what I mean? It was. I think that we were able to have our
Yes.
cake and eat it too, where we actually did talk about the Easter eggs, but Jerome and I did lightly tease you in a way that you would your friend if they're talking about that. And so that's when
Right.
like the WandaVision stuff, like once we start having Steph on regularly, and you know,
Yes.
that is like when I think of like where the pod like really hit its stride. Speaking of hitting
Yes.
its stride, when we had Mariano talking about what's her face,
Oh, Monica
Monica
Rambeau
running through the
Oh yeah.
path.
running across the field. Great time. Both him and Steph had a good time with
I
that.
mean, the
That was
fact that
great.
Steph was also there is what made it not as problematic.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
absolutely. And I think yeah, like I think that's like kind of what the fun part about it was. It's interesting that you mentioned that part, Jake, about like what you thought the show was in terms of, or like what we maybe were like aiming for early on in terms of being a little bit more like maybe not informative necessarily, but like there's like a lot of exposition involved
Yeah.
in terms of
Yeah.
breaking it down. I think if anything, I kind of always saw it from the beginning as being what you guys became. And
Yeah.
so I think even when I might have been able to provide more information, like I was like I always kind of found myself like kind of between you two. Like I actually
Mhm.
was like a huge super fan of MCU and knew like very well the like history of like all the films and to the point that I would read about them and everything. But I was just like, yeah, but that's not a lane that like I really care to occupy. And I just knew how passionate like AC was about it. So I just really wanted him to like shine in that moment. And then with Jake, where I like really overlapped a lot was like a lot of the quippiness, a lot of the pop culture referencing,
Mhm.
things like that. So I think like what happened for a good while was I was just like, and essentially what I kind of felt like I caught pretty early on, which may have been just like my producer brain on it, was oh, I feel like I could be like a utility guy, like a third
Yeah.
man, like
Oh,
like
very much
a
so.
small forward, kind of covering like and like gluing in between there and there. And I
Mhm.
think that's like why I also felt so comfortable when I left the show is because you guys grew it out so much to the point where you had that comfort, whether it was just the two of you doing that, but you also really just had this like wealth of people that were like able to like kind of come in and out. Like you just had such a good roster of people.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so like I think to that end it was just like, oh, it's really cool that it's like really become the thing that I could had seen like really early on you guys really had in you.
Shouts to that roster, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's another part of it. We've had a lot of great people, just generally speaking, from start to now, where you feel like, I mean, I would say this now, like somebody, I mean, I think a lot about, Jake said, the Steph era, especially when she was on with us, and I'm so glad that like she like took off, and now she's doing a lot of great shit. So I'm proud of her, and I'm excited for her. But like that wealth of
Steph was like
knowledge,
such a good example of like who Steph is as a person, like in
yes.
all different ways. I was like, that's what the show is.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think stuff about that, and I mean the stuff that we have with Rod now, like
Rod's awesome. Yeah.
he what you he's great, man. I think it's such a, because a couple weeks ago, Jerome, I was able to do something with Howard's Steph and Rod at the same time, and I
Nice.
felt like while
Yeah,
we
shout
were
out Howard Bryant. Like, I'm
Yeah.
assuming you
Yeah,
say
that's
Howard,
also
yeah.
the. I mean, that actually might be a better demarcation of when the show changed, when we got Howard
I mean,
Bryant on.
that's true.
Yeah.
That was
Because
also in 2020.
I mean, they made us. I mean, I would say like they made us better and smarter. Smarter people. Being able to look at things from a different vantage point. I think Nits at the start, and then I feel like Steph gave us the woman standpoint, which I think was something that was very important for us as three dudes who was just talking on a podcast. What else is new? Like you kind of need that little bit of flavor to kind of give you a different vantage point, and I think that did help us. And I feel like throughout the time as we've evolved, I feel like we have become better at the show. With that being said, and then I just think just some of the, I mean, that you say the Howard Bryant thing, Jake. That was the craziest thing. You just telling me like, why don't you just ask him? And I was just like, all right, I'll go ask him.
And I think that that's the big thing that the show has done is I think that and this is the thing that actually developed with me in my personal life at the same time I was doing the show, because like, now I'm turning 30 this year, but when I started the show I was still in college, and so I was still very much finding myself. And I think that what this show does, why this show I think is really good for me, and I think it's similar with you guys, even though we're very different people in other ways, and I think it's a thing that's kind of underrepresented in a lot of places, is we're people who I think have more fun the more seriously we take what we're doing. And so like we will, like, I think that in some people would think that there is the seriousness with which we take these movies and like the seriousness we take these characters would mean that our conversations about them are not fun at all. It's like, no. We take these characters very seriously, which is why we actually have an in-depth conversation about what arm Bucky uses to jack off. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like that's, like that is us taking it seriously. We don't want to, I don't like, and I think that is the thing that we found, like even the Howard Bryant's of the world, well, obviously Howard Bryant is not making those jokes. He's someone who also enjoys taking stuff very seriously. Steph, has comics about superheroes living together. Like, I think that it's
whatever way it's presented, it's all nuance.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so I think that we found people who like to dig into the stuff in different ways. And it's beyond the fact being on the show, like shit, like Caleb Lindmesser was just in New York, and I hung out with him and his wife and his brother-in-law because we met. I know them through the Discord. Like that's
Shout out to Caleb.
It's important for that reason too.
I wanted to actually, you were talking about it earlier. I wanted to share an intersection early of the show. And this is like really early on. I want to say probably around, I want to call it Ragnarok. I forget which one of us were there, if it was just me, but I feel like I didn't get to meet you guys yet. But there was the Las Vegas Count the Dings live show.
I was not there for that. I was not there for that. Yeah,
you were not. Yeah. And I remember we were all watching, because I think it was the World Cup at the same time. So we were all like gathered at a bar watching the World Cup. And one of the CTD folks, the like one of the fellow fans of the show, I forget who, because it's like that far back. But he pulled up knowing because of NC University and all that, and was just like, hey, so like you're going to go catch like Thor Ragnarok at the theater out here, right? And I looked at him blankly. I was just like, put my hand on his shoulder. I'm like, we're in Las Vegas. But just the idea that like.
By the way, I can tell you exactly what it was. It would have been, I looked it up. It would have been Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Was Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah, because Thor Ragnarok was already out by the time we started this.
Right. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It would be even more reason for me to not have to rush to the theater.
No.
But like all of it to say, like that was like, I think what was so great about that, and I think like what took away was just like not only did people get how passionate we were about it, that we would
Mhm.
like forego a live show hanging out with people and being Las Vegas to like hide in a theater and watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, but
Yeah.
also just the idea that I think for a lot of the people, very much in the way that we tried to find it for ourselves when we started it, like it just gave people a place to talk about it.
Yeah,
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 where it's
exactly.
fun and it's not gatekeepy and it's not like extra where people are going. I mean, the stuff that I see a lot now in terms of the way that streamers go about this type of content would be exactly like the person who you were mentioning, Mbaku, earlier, and just going on and on about stuff like that, and then the stuff with the Marvels and there's just been a whole bunch of that type of nonsense over the past couple of years, Ironheart included.
Mhm.
So I just think it's fun that it is so funny. Friend of the show, Hunter Radisi, said this on Threads. I think 2 weeks ago. He goes, like, I listen to it's so fun when you listen to MC University Pod. They'll have Stephanie Williams on one week. They'll talk to the Kid Marrow another week, and then they'll just have me on, a regular comic book nerd. And yeah, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what we do. We just I just
Kind
enjoy
of like how
talking.
old Twitter worked. It just
Yeah,
democratized
I mean,
everything.
it's like the classic, thing that creative people say, which sounds trite until you make it true, which is you
yeah.
make whatever you wish existed. And like for me anyway, see, I think that like even though we have
Hmm.
different sensibilities for things we care about in certain ways, I think that the reason I love doing the show is because for both of us, if we were not on this show, but an identical show existed, we would listen to it as an MCU pod. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't consume a lot of
Mm.
content about the MCU. The podcast I would want to consume
Neither
about
do
the
I.
MCU will
Yeah.
be the one that we do. You know what I mean? And I think that that is the thing that when the show was when I was least enthusiastic about doing the show is when I don't think that that was the case, and the more enthusiastic, like, because I think AC and you and I both are like, yeah, it's interesting to hear from voices like the Kid Marrow on bullshit, even though it's something with the MCU. But it's also fun to hear about Steph Williams talking about her experience writing comics. And it's also fun
Right.
to talk about, to talk to Hunter about making a beer with Daredevil, like shit like that. Like, I think
Yeah.
that stuff I'm overall interested in. And I think because it is something that's been going on for so long and it's so much of it feels like the act of actually doing the pod feels so easy at this point that I think we can have more fun with
Very.
the form and with the shit we're doing and who we bring on and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think from that standpoint, if anything, and I think what you said, Jerome, was really important. The way that you kind of felt like the third voice, and the way that you kind of in your own way cultivated us to kind of push forward even after the fact. I do think that's a great point, and I do think that's something, because we did wonder when you left. We were just like, huh, how is this going to work exactly? But I think something that is important, and Jake, you actually literally just said it. Something, even though our sensibilities may be different, there is a very like mindedness between us that kind of does scare me in a way, because I don't have that with very many
No,
people.
I
So,
I think I think it's like I think we just have a very similar. I don't know, like it's weird because like I would never consider myself easygoing, but
mhm.
I don't know if I would consider you easygoing either. But I think with each other, since we have such a similar sensibility, like I don't feel like it's easy, like
I feel like
but
you guys are on the same track. Like you're on the same
yeah.
Yeah,
wavelength.
I
Yeah.
think we've been doing it long enough where like we know what works and we know what we like doing. And so like that's why like some of the pods I want to go a little bit into some memory lane stuff, but some of the stuff
yeah,
I've enjoyed
please,
doing the
please.
most recently, just because I think it was so up our alley, was the Peacemaker pods we were doing with Tej and Rod. Were like
Yeah,
really like some of the best stuff we've done because I think we just like the fact that we both knew like okay, having Tej on for Peacemaker, that's just like that's half the work already. I
Right.
mean, like that's
right. Let me tell you, this Tej character, in the past couple of years that he's invaded our spaces, that's been a time,
I mean, the
because
clip of him talking about Arch Manning is one of the best things that's ever happened on the show. Jerome, did you see that where he said that he would want to pop over to the all-white universe of Peacemaker just to see Arch Manning win the title at Texas?
he
And
just
But that's,
I
I mean,
remember,
like to me, like that is the kind of thing that you mentioned before
yeah,
with like the Bucky arm and all of that. Is just
exactly.
like
yes,
you have to bring all these different voices in because I think what's beautiful and what has really become the case of this all these properties is like because they're all so big and so popular, they're seen
Yeah.
through so many different eyes. So I think the
Yeah.
fact that you guys bring in all those different voices to share like how exactly they see it and it gels so well here is so great.
That reminds me of a part where Jerome was talking about the Hulk's penis at one point.
Uh-huh.
What did I say about it?
He was talking about the Hulk's dick, and then in another part he compared the Hulk to Kawhi Leonard, and I just like, yo, what is
I mean,
guy's too much.
one I
It
think
was
about a
that was
lot.
2019. The Hulk's dick one was somewhere in 2019. If I find it, I'll send it.
I
to
remember
you.
because I
Thank you,
remember I
thank
did
you.
a video for it. I remember I edited a video for it before we started recording video, so I had to like do like graphics
Yes.
and stuff. Was we were doing the Obi-Wan Kenobi pods.
Oh my God.
And AC, you're talking about he's on the planet, he's packing meat, and we just did a whole riff. And you wanted to keep talking, and if you listen to the clip, you keep trying to get us back on track. And Jerome and I keep being like, I mean, our Jedi like don't they can't use their meat, you know, or I mean, and that's where we really I think that is where we went on the big riff about when we really nailed down how much you want to be old. And
wow.
one last ride.
Well, I mean, because the other thing too about like
Mhm.
AC being old is he's been old since time began.
Exactly.
And so like where that started, it's so funny because I think for a good long time, especially like if you haven't been here since like the early days, like a lot of it was just coming from the fact that like I'm the oldest of the three of us, Jake the youngest, and like AC right there in the middle. But his like talking about like how much you found your voice, how much you found all these things, which is such a beautiful thing. The very fact that you were sitting in front of me with a working camera and microphone, and
Oh
no
my
one could
God,
how to adjust
yes!
to it.
Yes!
That you are talking about streamers. You're talking about streamers now. Like you have like lingo that you
Yes.
have borrowed and learned from.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
think people understand how foreign a concept so many of these things in terms of
All of these
podcasting
things,
was
yeah.
to AC for the longest time.
Yeah,
And
this is so true.
simply because of that alone, I think it just became an ongoing riff any chance we got to talk about, not even like in a way of like, let's roast AC for being old, but let us just describe things that AC is doing.
I just think the fun thing is I was in on it the entire time.
The thing is, okay, so I'm looking it up. I looked up when the first time you tweeted #WashAgenda was, and it was on June 4th of 2022, which was right after that riff.
So we've been calling you old for 4 years before.
Well, no, I think we were calling you old before that, but #WashAgenda started with. It started with that Obi-Wan Kenobi riff.
Yes, yeah, no, it was full on the agenda at that point. Yeah, because you really, the way you saw yourself in Obi-Wan during that, I was just like,
one last ride, man. Like you saw him, he was struggling. He was struggling, limping around.
But you say that as if there wasn't an entire like. There's a whole movie that's called Star Wars.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Like I remember, I think I said like,
you know what I mean?
It is canonically not one last ride. He has another ride in him.
It is at least it is at best the second last ride. But he's probably done some stuff in between as well.
Yeah. I mean, I actually, if I remember correctly, I think the first time it really came up in a meaningful way was on the Logan pod we did in 2020. Because I remember
that would make more sense.
Yourself to Logan, and it's like, Logan in this, Hugh Jackman's in his 50s, and Logan, the character at this point, is like, because he like ages slow, was like 60 something, and he's decaying, and you're like, I relate, like AC, you were like 34 at the time.
It was truly an agenda too, just because it would be like, if there was any character that had like a hint of gray hair, AC is like, oh man, that person's me.
Yeah, salute to
that's me right
them.
there. Yeah,
salute to all them folks.
I mean, I think that's also a thing that really worked about the show, especially with you and I, AC, because I think that Jerome was always in the middle and like kind of being in the peanut gallery. That I think we both very much know how to play into bits about ourselves, and I think that is because I remember what happened a couple times, and it's happened is whenever like Maze would come on the show. Who's a great guest.
Yeah, I wanted to shout out Maze.
Shout out to Maze, one of our regular guests. Someone who's been on like, in terms of like being on at all different stages of the show. Like he's come on like once or twice a year, every year of the show. But I remember a couple times he would be like, when we'd like do bits, but they were like loving bits like that, he would kind of like be a little bit like angry, like why are you guys not like yelling at each other like cinephobe? It's like no, that's not the vibe. The most we do is we do a lot of playful ribbing, but that's it. It never goes beyond that.
It's too funny, man. Let me tell you. Let me tell you,
Like
boy,
playful
that
ribbing, like me earlier calling AC's like wrist brace the Infinity Gauntlet. Like that's just
Oh yeah.
oh yes,
like
this whole
that's not
thing.
even. But I just because he was like talking so wildly with his hands, and I'm just like trying to count how many stones did he collect, like as
I
he was
mean,
trying to wave it in front of the screen.
you talk
Oh,
about him getting the
man.
camera on. The joke about him needing like his laptop being gas powered, that's classic. You know,
Oh man, that's a great one. That's
I
a
think that
great
was
one
difficult.
too,
I
man.
think it was like last year where I had to tell you, or maybe 2024, where I had to tell you that your smoke alarm was beeping.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was
I
That
a
forget
really
the
good
happened
way for
exact
too.
me to
wording
tell
of
that
it,
to
but
you.
I think I once said that you came out of the room with arthritis or something like
That
that.
was that was in the Obi-Wan
Wow.
Kenobi riff. Yes.
That was
No,
Obi-Wan.
no, what it
Yeah.
was? No, what it was
Very.
is you're the only kid on Christmas to wish for arthritis.
That's right. That's what it was. That's what it was. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, but
No,
I'm trying to
no,
think of
it's
other great moments. I mean, some of
Ooh,
the best
can I
moments,
actually share
obviously. Yeah. Okay, of course.
like an AC moment that where I was like, oh yeah, this pod's going on forever. Like I remember it
What's
crossing
up?
my mind. So, like you mentioned, like one of the big things that happened in your life was that you had like your family grew. Like you
Yeah.
started and you grew your family,
Mhm.
which was like such a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
like your first came like around Infinity War, was it? Or
Endgame
Endgame?
is 3 days before Endgame came out.
3 days before Endgame. And I
Yeah.
remember AC, and like obviously you can't always retone within a text. Like send scripts like, look guys, I don't know if this is good. Like I'm gonna be able to watch this movie. Like I'm supposed to have a baby like right when this film goes out. And like
I was
the funny thing
keeping my
about it is
fingers
like
crossed. Yeah.
Jake and
Hoping.
I are notoriously chill guys about these kind of things.
Yeah.
And we're just like, dude, of course. Like you're having a
Yeah.
baby. And what I realized as we kept on being supportive of his situation, he wasn't talking to us. He was just
No.
talking to himself in the chat of like, hey man, I don't know if I'm gonna do this. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna figure out a way, guys. And he kept on
Gotta be
coming back and
there.
being like, oh, I'm
Gotta
gonna
be
figure this
there.
out. This guy
Well,
was
remember
so like he was married to his wife, but boy was he married to the game.
Remember when we thought? Jerome, it was you and I thought that AC had passed away or had passed out at
Oh,
Infinity War,
Infinity
right?
War. Yeah, I turned my phone off and never turned it back on because I was
Right.
just stunned by what I seen in the
Yeah.
theater.
We're like, did he
Yeah.
die? Did he pass out?
That's so yes.
But no, I was thinking that like I mean some of the best times and like I'm happy with these because I remember this is a big pet project of mine. I feel like when our shows was at our best is the 2 table reads we had like really just brought together
Oh
everyone.
yeah.
Oh yeah, great
I mean,
times.
Those are
as I
great.
always say, I got to do another one of those. I don't. The problem is you eventually run out of movies that have the right amount of characters.
Sure.
But that like stuff like that, where you used to like see all the people we brought together. Like I just love because I'm someone who I think, and this is me definitely having hubris, where I'm like, I think that like I'm good enough at talking to people where like I can make anyone be friends. It's like when I look at like the screen stuff, it's like Michael Springthorpe is in the same chat as like Cameron Hawkins and
Yes. Yes.
Montel and Leah Marilla Thomas, and it's like these people who would probably never really be in the same room otherwise. And it's like, but
I
that's
know.
the tapestry of our show. That is like where like that's like I love too is when we have 2 guests on who otherwise would never be in the same place and they hit it off or like it works really well. It's like
It was fun. Yeah.
that's always the best. Even if it's not even outside the table, it's like when we'll happen to double book an episode and it's like not someone you'd think would work out. But it's like, no, because I think the big thing is we kind of subconsciously have like a very much like everyone has chill vibes. Like we don't have any
Yeah.
regulars who don't have chill vibes.
Right.
We've had one-offs that might not have chill vibes, but they're not.
Sure.
And that was early on. Early on, we need to
Okay,
get
count
better
of
at
3.
guest
Most
booking.
regrettable guess. And 1, 2, 3. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I was.
I mean,
No,
I have an answer.
well-
I'm not going to say it though.
No,
Well,
I'm playing. I'm
I-
playing.
yeah,
I'm playing. I can't even
there's-
think of one to be honest, but yeah.
I mean, there's a couple early ones, but
But that was like that. Like that, I don't even feel because I
that's
think
early.
a couple things.
That
I think we
iteration
would
is
also be
fun. I
better-
think lately, yeah.
We would have been better at dealing with it. That like the only time now.
Sure.
The only time now we have guests where like I don't think they work out as well as I want them to is if it's people who are a little shy who don't come out of their shell, and I think that we've gotten
Right.
better at dealing with that. Like
Yes.
I think that that's always like
You just
If
talk
it's-
about Hulk's dick, man, and then like everyone's like
like
opened
I
up to that
feel
point.
like I think you and I have just gotten so much better at making people feel comfortable. Because early on we weren't comfortable enough to make people who weren't comfortable. You know what I mean? Like that's a thing that
Not gonna lie, I was chilling from day one.
no, I know. I guess
No,
like,
but I get what you mean. No,
but what I
absolutely,
mean is, like,
totally fair.
I remember I would in this when I did the Sordid History podcast too, and I also felt that like the
Mhm.
dread of someone not being comfortable, like it would just like paralyze me. Like, what do I do? What do I do? And now it's like you make them feel comfortable. You learn how to do that.
Well, it's funny that you
Yeah,
mentioned that
yes.
because the same way you like talk about like how you just like your wide network and group of friends and like how cool it is to see in like large rooms like that. I think that's what I always kind of felt confident about whenever we brought people on, that I
Yeah.
was just like, um which I think is like a testament to what you guys do with this, is not so much that like you're forcing people into your wavelength,
No.
but you always kind of meet them where they are.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
think there's never really like an issue of them having to
Mhm.
break out of something to fit in within a thing. And so
Yes.
I think that's always like been a
You know what's
great
the thing
part
I
about
find
it.
really beautiful too, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying this. The evolution of Cecilia Alfonso Stokes on her show has really been wonderful to me. Where she started off
I
as
mean, if
someone
you
like,
listen to
Oh
her on the
yeah.
Daddy's Pods,
no, I know, yes, but I think if you listen like the first couple times she was on, I think like more comfortable she's gotten, and like now she's a real life friend of mine. She when like 2 years ago she flew in on an overnight flight to be at Springtop's Oscar party like that.
that's so
She's
sweet. Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
like, but now she's you listen on the Daddy's pods, you listen on any pod she's on. I remember
Mhm.
she and I did a couple your friendly neighborhood experiment pods when AC was away,
Mhm.
and like shit like that. Like that's also been cool. The way that people who she started off as someone who was just a patron who was in the Discord, and we because like I'm someone who like I think AC are similar like. We're doing this, but it's very much a community effort, and that's what's fun about
Oh
it.
yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
so when there are
I want to
people who
make people
show
feel a
Not
part
good.
of
themselves,
it.
No, no. I mean, like, to be perfectly fair, and I think you guys would agree, if it was just the three of us the whole time,
yeah,
this wouldn't still be here.
no,
No.
and I think it's
So,
cool. It's cool
like,
that like
that's the
someone
beauty
like
of it. Yeah.
Cecilia can go from just having like fun points in the Discord to being like, we want to hear from you. You clearly know what you're talking about. I mean, she's in fucking graduate school for a lot of this shit, so like she does know what she's talking about. That like I like that. That's a that's always
The
a
She-Hulk finale in particular, I thought that
that was
she
incredible. Yeah,
was
Right.
she did some great work
yeah.
there on, and even Fantastic Four
Yeah,
this
and
this
some other
past year.
people I want to shout out. I think we got to shout out the regulars. Obviously, we got talking Nitz Blovstein, who has not been on the show in forever, but she was for a while was the de
Salute.
facto fourth host. Shouts to
Salute.
her. We
No,
got
absolutely. Like, for
yeah.
her to come in with these three beta cucks
Oh,
is like such an
I
Oh
mean,
wow!
I mean the
Wow!
comment where someone said that
What
they
a
like
reference!
the comment where someone said that they like it when she sasses the guys is one of the funniest things anyone's ever said.
Oh, no, 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 no. I think that might have been one of the early sides where I'm like, oh, we're doing this right.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing
Sassing
is,
the guy.
like that is a crazy thing to put into words. But also, we all three of us are the type of guys that it is funny to listen to a woman be mean to. Like that's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
We all
yeah,
fit that archetype.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But
Others,
also,
obviously,
yeah, anyway,
we
keep
got
going, yeah.
Shivani Banfal, one of the
Yeah,
nicest
Yo,
humans
solution,
alive.
yes,
of course.
yes.
And such a hilarious guest. We mentioned Caleb Landmesser, who did a lot of stuff on the Patreon. We got
Famously on our episode where we had Loki director Kate
Yeah.
Herron on, he
Uh-huh.
found a way to fit in an N-word later in the show.
And I remember it was the only time you've ever asked me to edit out a word in an episode.
Yes.
And Mariano is a guy who's been on regularly on and off forever.
Oh yeah, shout out to
Whether or
Marshall,
not he was
yes.
a guest, we
Yeah.
should just shout him out anyway.
And
Yeah,
some
you're
people
right about
recently,
that.
I mean, Deep Home has been a great person to add to the
Yeah, salute to D-Bomb,
Cam
yeah.
Hawkins, and then the two roommates, Leah Morrell Thomas and Rachel Leishman, always helpful. I mean, and we got I completely my eyes went over him. The Matt Stairs of the podcast, Dalbino Sorio, always
I know,
yes.
that's right.
I mean, just these these people are like a lot of them are just like straight up friends of mine. Like it's and the thing I hope that the people who are regular listeners, I hope what comes across is like the thing I think about a lot is whenever people who do like long form podcasts complain about parasociality. Like I get it on some hand, but it's like
Yeah.
part of what you are selling is the experience of being friends with you. Like I just don't. When it's people who do like 3-hour personal podcasts every week, it's like I don't know what you want people to do. Like the human brain wasn't meant to separate that. And so while I don't want you to come up to me and talk to me as if we are good friends, I hope that if you listen to the show, you feel as in like this community we're all friends together. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to be weird, but I think that like I hope that you feel like that it's cool for you to get to know Dalbean the same way we have. That it's cool for you.
Just to reiterate, Jake will be happy to sit with you for an hour. At any point, if you were to stop him in the middle of the street.
I will say I have been stopped on the street because my TikToks exactly 3 times. Not on the street,
Right, yeah.
And I've only once I never actually stopped the person. One of them was because they're walking by really quickly, and the other is because it was right after I saw One Battle After Another in IMAX, and I'm like, hey, I have to go pee so badly. So so I have not actually the opportunity to sit with someone for an hour. But no.
Yes, I did want to say, I sent Jerome a video of audio,
Right, yeah.
from
This guy's screen recording. Look at our guy out here.
From our Patreon. This is I tell you, I kid you not, Jerome. I play this clip whenever I feel like I want to laugh at something.
Okay.
This kind of pays off of a joke that all the way back at the first year of the show, I think Daredevil season 3 we did. And this
Okay.
was when Jake made the point that Matt had kind of had a little chemistry with the nun who was his mama.
Oh yeah.
And
Before I knew that she was his mom, and the thing is, I stand by that, which is that this is
Yes.
which is
No,
why
no,
I
no.
can't
It was
get media training.
yeah.
Yes. So we were doing the Bad Boys movies on Patreon. We do movies, movies, and we pick them and whatever. So we were doing Bad Boys for Life. So Jake, towards the end of Bad Boys for Life, he started talking about who is it? What you call it? Mike Lowry's son. And the mom and the mom and he sensed a type of similar relationship. So
Okay.
Rod was on with us at the time.
Perfect.
So I said, "Oh, this is kind of like the Daredevil season 3 thing." And Rod goes, "What's that?" So then Jake starts to try and explain himself for that whole thing. And this is because Rod is so great. You have to listen to the clip because it's behind the wall. I sent it to you.
Sure,
I mean, the
thank
thing
you.
is,
Every
Rod is
single
really
time.
good at letting me bury myself, which I'm always willing
Yes.
to do. Is the thing.
Right, yeah. If there's anything
That's
that
like
you
when-
will do, Jake, is you will commit.
I will cover. I will, you know.
When we were doing Echo,
if anyone's ever seen the film
wait,
Decision
I'm
to
gonna
Leave,
cut you
I'm
off. I'm
always
gonna cut
willing
you
to
off,
bury
Jake.
myself in sand.
I'm gonna cut you off, Jake, because Jerome, we were doing Echo, and Jake talked about knowing about how to chloroform somebody, and Rob was like, "How did you know that?"
The thing I said was, I said that it takes way longer to chloroform people than it does in movies and television shows. The reason I know that is because I'm me, and I read a crack.com article when I was 13. But but I know that that's not a good answer, and so once again, I was happy to let myself get buried for the sake of the joke.
Oh man! So between that and that one, this is where, like, you know, having somebody like Rod is great because the way that he handles something like that, he immediately has the time to go, "Hey, how did you know that?"
Yeah.
and then he third rails.
No, Rod's just cool, man.
I think the thing about Rod in this case is that like Rod like just knows he knows how I am. Like he's there's no surprise about what type of time I'm on.
Oh man, but yes, I think we've had. I think with moments like that, and you can think about all the times that we've had like moments where I've just wanted to just quit. Like I think I always think of that Loki season 2 episode 5 pod that we did with the fucking Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard as Kang bit. That was just incredible.
The Ron Terrence Howard stuff is like that's where the show. I mean, shit. Like
I mean, that started really like wasn't that literally our first episode? We made like an Iron Man joke, and that was it.
Yes. Iron Man. That's where we got Iron Man, and then you made the graphic of "Let's Get Thanos."
Yes. So think about the 6 degrees of separation from that time back then to
we're still coming up with different ways to joke about Terrence Howard. Like Terrence Howard has not been in a Marvel movie for 18 years now, almost, and we're still making fun of him.
It's oh my god!
I'm pretty sure I was just texting with a friend about Terrence Howard very recently.
I mean, I'm trying to think, what are the other like the bits like if there was like a glossary of MC University stuff? I mean, obviously there's Bucky's arm and masturbating, and then there's does Vision have a penis? That was the original.
That was the original one.
We got
the I Hate Iron Man 3 thing was
you know
was
do you remember?
Yeah, how does it feel to just keep on seeing like Trevor Slattery?
Trevor? I feel like I've grown. I've grown a bit from that. I'm actually excited to see what he got. What he's got going in
Wonder Man.
I want to see what his story is. But yeah,
does it like every time he shows up, does it feel like an affirmation that they really got it right in Iron Man 3?
Yeah, the crazy part is like I remember Shang-Chi. I said, all right.
That was a turning point. You were okay.
Yeah,
after
I submit.
Right,
Shang-Chi,
right.
It was like, all right. They gave it a good explanation.
Iron Man 3 is actually a really good example of like the early like before like the Easter
Shout
eggs
out to
and everything.
Marshall.
Yeah.
of just like kind of needling AC, the comic
Jerome,
book.
I
fan.
do remember the context of this. I remember it was one of the
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
last. It was one of the. It was like during the last few months that you were a part of the show, where we were doing
Sure.
like some sort of draft, and it was like characters who had appeared in like this phase or whatever. And I remember
Okay.
AC had picked Okoye, despite the fact she had not yet been in that phase, and we kept being like,
Okay.
AC,
Black
she
is
doesn't count.
beautiful.
Exactly, and he said, he has going, black is beautiful, black is beautiful. We're like, no, AC, she doesn't count. Black is beautiful. I'm like, hey, I cannot believe you're pulling that on us. What is it? She doesn't count. What's wrong with
Yeah,
you?
black is beautiful.
I mean,
baby.
that's actually kind of why I'm surprised that AC was willing to throw Cap under the bus for going back in time for all his low key horniness.
Listen, I felt like all I gotta say is I felt like Cat was pulling a Sharon. Let me tell you, like he was doing the most.
I mean, you
He's
can't
pulling
be
the
pulling
Sharon,
a Sharon.
dog.
That's the thing. Shouts, I mean, no
Like-
shouts to Sharon more, but
No, yeah, definitely no shouts to him. Jesus Christ!
God.
Oh my God!
it's so nuts that he did that. And like he
What a
for
crazy person.
a little bit, he's now like the poster child of why you don't get horny at work.
Well, I mean, Jesus, 1000%. Yeah, I'm thinking in terms of like other bits we had. I mean, we started doing the Better Call Teach segment where we would just where I would just go through one of his tweets and like ask him to explain it to us, and there would always be some like either wild or interesting explanation that he would have.
And the thing is, you would think, Jerome, when we had him on, there was like 5 straight weeks we had him on for Peacemaker, and he'd be like, well,
Yes.
that segment only works if we only have him on like once a month, or because how will we all find new tweets? No, it wasn't hard every week.
No, not for Teach.
every
I mean, it might have been a bit of a challenge if it's tweets from the same day, but I still think you could pull it off.
No, I mean, the thing is, he's obviously a wholesome tweeter. That's what he'll tell you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, but yeah, like I mean, I could think of there's like a million like small bits that I'm sure that I've forgotten that we've had over the years that has
Well, okay, it's funny because it became a clip and it really like it was such an offhand thing for me at the time, which is I guess like a lot of the comments I would make that would sometimes like make AC crack. Like I don't think I was ever doing it to make AC like crack, but like the whole Wakanda Mario joke.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I like really and it wasn't a thing that like I was watching the show and thinking about.
No.
It just kind of came to mind in like a stream of consciousness in that moment.
What if season 1 before?
I didn't think it was like, oh yeah, like, I'm gonna get this guy, but like it really sent you off the rails.
Every like no, I could not believe Michael B. Jordan, who shout out to him for what he did with Sinners,
Yeah,
and show his stuff.
His
But
greatest thing was playing.
The way that he deadpanned that line was insanity.
Yeah.
I could not. It was so awful.
I mean,
really
awful.
I think that like it's whenever we get to talk about something that's like really bad, it's fun. Like some of the best shows he did was like the latter Secret Invasion pods with Rod.
Whoa.
Like the reason why Rod is such a regular on the show is because we first started having
I mean,
Rod
like
for
I'll
Secret
tell you
Invasion.
guys, some of these more recent properties from MCU, as fun like you said as it is to like riff on them, I would see like maybe a Secret Invasion like long after the fact and like play it like just very passively in the background and think to myself, I'm so happy I don't have to follow.
No, absolutely. And that's why, in a lot of ways, like while obviously I think AC and I were both sad that you left the show.
Absolutely.
As a friend of Jerome Cheng, it was brilliant that you left the show.
It felt so healthy at that point.
Yeah,
like for some of those things that came out.
I think that like I don't know, for me in AC, like we're doing this, we basically do an episode like once a week, and so whatever the thing to do an episode on, it's fun, and like sometimes you'll find a bit. You'll find
we'll always find a bit. That's the thing. If anything, if the less that there is available, the more we find a bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember the one I was just thinking about is I think we're talking about Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and AC was trying to describe the last scene. And he said, and there's a little shaky, and the boom, boom, and it was me, Jerome, you, and Springthorpe, and we just
kids.
We just kept we just did riff like that. I think that might be exactly what you said.
Yeah. Now we know.
I do believe there was something at the end of the original Venom pod that we did that Jerome said he made a joke that completely closed the
Yeah,
pod down, and
the
we
best,
couldn't continue after
the
that.
best way to end a pod is when someone makes a joke, and it usually was Jerome that makes AC say, "I quit," and the pod has to end.
Yeah, the pod actually just has to end. Like
the pod has to
we
end.
have no choice. Yeah.
We can't go any further.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
have a
god.
question for AC
Yeah, please talk.
because I don't know if it like I again you might have actually talked about it ever since, but like we
What's
would
up?
do this thing annually, and we started partway through the show, which was our annual MCU Daddies pod, and
I always listen. Yeah.
you would always listen.
For the
You've
record,
not been
we
on
didn't
yet,
do
right?
one last year because of scheduling things.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And here, like, I guess my general question is, like, have we ever gotten a ranking of daddies from AC?
No, I will say this. Like I listened to. I
Wait,
always
sorry, we
thought.
did do one this year. I don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry, we did it like a little later. Sorry.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So I always when I listen to those shows,
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this is really good. And I also think I would not make this any. I couldn't make
and
that better.
that's not even
and
a
I
thing,
couldn't
like that's not the
yeah.
commentary there.
Yeah.
More so, I mean, you've heard us talk about it for so long. I've been genuinely curious. Like if you had a go, like who is your MCU dad?
I mean, I think we need to make that happen for sure next year. I think, well, this year.
Yeah.
I think,
no, but even
I
going
mean, I
in right
think
now,
I could definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could like think of it off top of my like. I would really want to do the thought
because that was always like the earliest, like that, like apart from the idea that I just really love the idea of doing it.
Yeah.
I think the joke to me, because like it happened after you became a father, I was like, this is the most hilarious Father's Day gift for AC every year.
It's such a good idea. I mean,
great.
it's
Such a good, such a good show.
Yeah.
Like I think, like any patron who or anybody who would think like, why would you want to be a patron? I think that's one of the pods that I think more so than anything that we do throughout the year.
Whenever I
behind
have
the wall,
talked to
that's the
people, like when I was on the show, like I would do this, like the one that would make them perk up when I was like, oh, and every year we would do the same where we just rank all the daddies of MCU. And they're like, that's amazing. And then they would have so many thoughts.
I mean, I think that is where, like, we talk about putting people in the best positions. Like, that's where I know that as much as he can annoy me from time to time, that is where I'm like, this is Michael Springthorpe is a race car designed for this scenario. Like, I just let him loose. I'm like, normally when he's like, I have a side list of mom and like, shut up. Like, no. That is exactly what
it is Springthorpe who like kind of like once he started being on the show and he would give like his perspective on particular things, which were mostly just identifying who were twinks and who were various forms of gay people. And like I was just like, oh, we should like just do an actual full dedicated episode to it. No, but it was like, oh, like those are always amongst my like most fun times. And I think like especially on the early versions of it, I think there was always an idea that it was like it would just tickle me, the idea of like AC having to listen to it and maybe like blush a little bit.
Absolutely.
You're talking through.
I think you guys did such a great job with that vehicle, and I genuinely would bust out laughing. And
I
also,
know,
to your point, I would like blush a little bit hearing some of the stuff, and especially like I think Michael Springthorpe is such a funny person. Just generally speaking, so kind of like the way that he translates that pod is just perfect for him.
Yeah,
to
he knows.
Sure, of course.
The thing with that with him is that he knows exactly how to. I mean, he and I are very good at playing off each other, and he knows how to frustrate me in a way that I have to be like, but it's good content. I have to let him do it. Like that's that's exactly what
let him cook.
Do.
You gotta let him cook.
Like, and I think that's why those pods are always great, and that's why we're doing our Oscars pod. We're this year I'm gonna make sure I don't drink as much as I did last year. And because I forgot it went like because I was just drinking as I was going, and I forgot that the pod goes like 3 hours. So like I was drinking we're doing this for a 1 hour clip. But for 3 hours, which became a problem.
Right.
But no, like stuff like that, I love going into that. And I love, honestly, I love this, besides the stuff that, because there's a lot of stuff that I've done without AC. But AC, I think some of the stuff that you've done, I mean.
Well, can I actually, before you go to AC,
Sorry.
on things you've done that I really admire, and speaking of you speaking for a long time, I feel like one of the offshoots, I feel like you would have always done something like this, but I think having the show and the growth of it like allowed for the ability to add more people, and your 24-hour streams were always so great that you would always pick a charity to raise money for.
I'm doing another one probably this May.
Very cool, very cool. But like I mean, like I think it's things like that. Like apart from like obviously all the fun that we have, the fact that
Yeah,
like these things also felt like extensions of it.
Yeah.
Even
yeah.
though I feel like you would have always been able to do it,
Mhm.
and
No,
would
but I
have done
never would
it.
have been. I never would have thought that I would have any audience enough to do it without that.
Exactly. And
Right.
so I think to that end, like it's stuff like that that I think was just like some of the like really cool things to come out of this show.
God.
Yeah,
But no, what I was gonna
absolutely.
But
say,
speaking
like,
about
it's-
AC,
I think people forget about which these episodes you go back, they still like last. The Marvel did what you did with Steph Williams. I mean, those are some really. I mean,
oh
She
yeah,
taught me so much.
the
I
one. I
learned
mean,
so much from
the
her.
one to go
Yeah.
back to is let me look it up to see if I can find the.
Oh, you talking about Punisher and Luke
Yes,
Cage?
yes, the Punisher episode. Marvel did what episode 8? The Punisher 59 to 62, which is the one where the Punisher
Oh
turns
my
black.
God.
Just
Yeah.
honestly, just elite
Just
podcasting.
man. Let me tell you.
does he also
that-
dab?
I mean, shoot. The Punisher turns black and had even more respectability politics than Luke Cage did. I was just like, what? What is happening here? That was one of the most insane comics I've ever read, and Steph was the
Right.
perfect person to talk about that with. And it just, I think, just generally speaking, like not just that episode, but everything that we did, kind of brought me into her mind as a writer, and it also got me to see some of the live action projects a little bit differently and why they can't necessarily go beat for beat with
Mhm.
comic book stories, and why comic book stories are kind of in not easier to write per se than movies, but just in a way like you have more wiggle room to play with certain ideas, because clearly they had wiggle room to play with because they made the Punisher freaking black. Like, what the hell, man? I mean, oh god.
Anyway.
But yes, Stephanie Williams. I think those episodes were great. They were They were not only informative, they were fun. They taught me a lot about just her perspective. I think is just so important for what inform. And I tell her this all the time. Like it helps inform me on everything, which I think kind of paved the way for when Howard came through and enhanced all of our knowledge on these things and these subject matters even further,
Mhm.
and how to translate them. So,
Mhm.
yeah, big shout out to Steph. That was a great time.
And I'm just looking at other like people we've had on who are like big people. You know, Dragonfly Jones has been on a bunch of times.
Oh yeah.
Salute to him.
Speaking of
Salute
comic
to
book
him.
writers, I mean, she's been really doing well with the short stories. Preeti Chibber we had on.
Yeah.
We didn't have her back
Miss
on.
Marvel.
I know I reached out to her a while ago. We had early guest Zach Harper came on for us. I remember that he was really someone who
Yeah.
helped us early on.
Yeah, Zach Harper was
also-
on Mission
A lot of
Impossible.
TTD
Mission
people, yeah.
Impossible joints,
Did we
yeah.
get Waz on at some point? Actually,
No, we never did.
No,
actually.
Waz.
We never did in the
did.
end.
In
I know he
terms
was like
of,
very
uh,
anti-MCU. Yeah.
In terms of people who are involved, I remember you had the TV writer Tamara Beecher Wilkinson on.
Yeah, talked about Doom Patrol. I remember
And then
that.
we
Yeah.
had
Right.
an episode that I really loved. Because I remember you had an interview with the art director for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Samantha Avila.
But then we had the one
yeah,
with
yeah.
her and then the other two people, Kristen Jenkins and Kristen Schuer.
After Guardians
That
3.
was, I thought that was
great-
amazing.
That's cool.
Like, I think I want to get back to doing some of that stuff, but that's always been fun. I mean, it's harder because I think that Marvel's been worse at making people available. But
that part.
yeah,
But,
they've gotten a lot more stingy in terms of like press passes and things like that.
Have they?
incredibly. Yeah, incredibly. Yeah, things aren't what they were.
Yeah,
at
like
the
where
moment.
like we used to be able to, with someone who's like that level, like the art director, you wouldn't have to worry about getting it cleared. Whereas like now you do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, I just overall, but yeah, like I think, you mentioned that, and I thought that the fact that we were able to get Kay Herron off
Yep.
of the whole,
That was really great. Yeah.
He Who Remains finale of it all, that was fun. and being able to talk about that with
It's
her.
not lost on me.
The
that
irony that
only-
he's he who remains.
It's not lost on me that the only actual live action actor we've spoken to is someone who's canceled.
Oh God, this is right. This was the first
who did you
episode.
talk- what?
This
What
was the first episode after you
Yeah.
left,
We spoke to
Jerome.
Mohan Kapoor, who plays Miss Marvel's dad.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Who's like
Wait, you
And-
he's
did?
he's not canceled enough to get kicked out of the MCU, but he's like
Is he
in,
canceled?
in India. There was some underage girls who shared some messages.
Yeah, he did some. He did apparently.
He
allegedly did
Didn't
allegedly
we
some
make
things
him
that
a
was-
daddy on?
No, that was after. I mean, so that was before.
Oh, okay.
But no, he
Okay.
there was nothing confirmed beyond some messages, but those messages were definitely like, ugh.
All I can say is, Jerome, like the conversation that we had with Mohan, like he was talking about coming to New York and us
Yeah.
getting candy getting candy and eating candy and,
Yeah,
and hanging
it was a
out.
good conversation.
Like candy that you would like offer from a van.
Because
No,
AC
that's
was trying
awful.
to
That's
AC was
actually
trying to commiserate with him. AC related to the dad at Miss Marvel, where he sneaks off to the convenience store to get a snack, right?
Yes,
So he was asking, like,
that's
what do you
exactly
do?
what it
And so that became a
yeah.
topic of conversation because AC was trying to relate old man to old man, despite being
I
4
know.
years
Oh
younger.
yeah.
It all comes back to Wash Agenda because that's what it was, a Wash Agenda question.
Oh my god! I
Yeah,
can't.
but I think he most like the way you're describing it. He mostly like just really enjoyed the idea of old man in the form of an age gap. But
Yeah, I just
I don't know
that's,
anything
it's not
about this.
it's
I'm
not
just
lost
finding
on
out
me.
right now. So.
Whenever I think about that, like, oh, our show, we've had like a director of a TV show on, and we had an actor. Okay, I mean, we just had a director. We only had a director on, and that's what it is.
We like it's on YouTube if anybody wants to watch it.
I thought about deleting it, but like, you know, it was a fun conversation.
No, because this
It's
is
a-
literally the like, because all I've ever thought of him, like from when we would talk about him and all is like he's such a lovable dad.
Yeah, and the thing about it
Yeah.
is like he was a
And the
local guy in the
character is,
conversation,
so.
and it was
Yeah.
like it happened like a month or something afterwards, and it was like, well, shit,
Jesus.
that's that is exactly it's perfect comedic timing actually for us. But hopefully, I hope we have
Would
fun.
okay? Here's the follow up question to this. Would you like to test the powers of this podcast by interviewing another actor on the show?
Oh, that's a good question. So who? So are you asking me who?
You know,
if
it's like the EA cover curse.
If I had to get an actor in the MCU
Yeah.
canceled, who would it be?
Exactly.
That's a good question.
Oh my gosh!
But no, yeah, I mean, AC, how about this? Let's try to make it a goal, either for this year or next, to make it that that's no longer the case. We're the only actor we've interviewed the MCU's been canceled.
You know what? I mean, listen, we'll
I think you
never
get Anthony
we'll-
Mackie on, and the final shoe will drop. No kidding.
I mean,
The funny thing about you saying Anthony Mackie is, it is my journalistic.
Oh, I can
dream-
imagine.
Dream to just ask him one question. Why does he have that goddamn look on his face all the time?
That's one
what
of
I
your
need to
favorite
know.
reacts gifts.
yeah,
I
Anthony
just need to
Mackie,
know.
he's actually one of the most important figures in the show. Like, but for good and for ill, he's just
Yes.
Isn't it crazy how we have racism still after Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I mean, Howard
That's
Bryant
nuts,
going
right?
off on Checkers Wilson. That's
how we
another-
solved it, man.
That was another elite moment in the show's history. But no,
Oh,
freaking
man.
Yeah, that speech. We were all inspired, you know?
mhm. And when he handed that Pepsi to Carly Morgenthau,
Yeah.
Oh man, the Pepsi speech.
yeah, that.
Good Lord.
But no, I mean-
but yep, you're right. You're right. You're right, Jake. Like I think if you go back like the entire catalog of the show, like what you call it, BJ and AJ before Jerome and after Jerome.
Let's come up with
like-
another thing just for before Jerome, please.
I just
Yeah.
I did it on purpose.
Okay.
No,
I
it's
knew-
fair. We
I
were
thought
packing
in
meat
my
in the
mind-
BJ.
I knew.
Mhm.
The amount of daddy that we had in the BJ. Oh my gosh.
Oh Jesus! Oh my God! But
Yes,
yes,
but Anthony Mackie has been a key figure.
yes, back.
And he'll continue to be a key figure.
Oh yes, he will. Yeah, there's a lot of doom coming our way.
Is he
later
gonna be a
this year.
bit? Is he gonna like really factor in huge?
Yeah. He's supposed to. He's supposed
Like, is
to.
there?
But they all
I mean,
gonna-
like,
they're all gonna
okay.
we're all gonna get.
I think he's
waxed
been
in
holding
this
his
movie.
own during this time. I think he's had like some solid showings between this. But like, I don't know. Doesn't it feel like he's been like playing during like a lockout year? Like what's like the actual players come in, like Thor comes in and is
Yes.
like this guy?
Yes.
Like,
Hey, Jerome, you're reiterating a lot of the conversations we've had over the last.
am I? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think it's definitely funny how just that movie and the fact that they wrote
I never
into
watched
the,
it. Yeah.
oh okay the
thing-
fact that
yeah,
they
yeah.
Yeah.
no I was just gonna say that they wrote into the Thunderbolts storyline that
Oh,
They're
Thunderbolt.
the
I saw.
new-
Yeah. That was
they're
good.
they're the new Avengers and Sam Wilson is upset that they have the
Yes.
Avengers
Yeah. I saw
name.
the post credit scene. Yeah.
And it just kind of like it
When it-
fits perfectly.
Whenever
with what's
Right.
anyone
going
who's
on.
like not fully paying attention to the MCU learns that Sam Wilson is leading the Avengers going into Doomsday, it's the gender
Oh,
swap
that
version.
part. Yeah.
no,
I know,
it's
yeah.
but the reaction is always the gender swap version of Michael on Arrested Development with him.
Him? Yeah. Him.
That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Oh my God. Yeah, but I mean, 8 years is kind of crazy to be doing a
Yeah.
show. Like that. I didn't think it would. I didn't think it would go this long
Yeah.
when we started.
No.
I'm very grateful for the fact that
You guys picked a great property to follow.
I mean, yeah, and the thing is though, like
Yeah, it
I've
has
always
helped.
said, like if the MCU dies and we're still up for it, I'll talk. I mean, I can talk to
Yeah.
AC about any nerdy bullshit.
Well, there's actually a thing I was thinking of just as you were asking for like to do this today,
Yeah.
like which we don't have to go in detail, but just like thinking, I'm like, imagine you were able to start this where you actually had access to all the characters,
Yeah,
like because
I
like
know.
because we did a whole thing where we're covering like an MCU that honestly overperformed when you
Mhm.
think it did not have Spider-Man, it did
Yeah.
not have the Fantastic Four, it like missed like all
The
these like
X-Men.
the X-Men,
Yep.
which aren't even really technically in the mix yet. Like there's just like a funny thing about I don't know that you have like the real respect of the journey of the MCU and maybe even the real respect of the journey of this show when if you just came in with like the all-star game from the
Yeah.
start.
Yeah. And that's kind of like that's the crazy thing about Doomsday and Secret Wars is that like we have arrived at the everybody's here now,
Yeah.
and the fact is, can they rebuild? I mean,
Mhm.
we did the joke.
They're finally letting black people in the league, so it's actually going to be like a good sport. Yeah.
And the thing is, AC, if it doesn't work out, we can. It's just one letter to swap out. Just change that M to a D, and we're good.
That's right.
I was going to say, like,
DC
guys,
University episode 1 does exist.
Yeah.
you have
It
DC
does.
University.
Well, we did a
already?
bit after there was the bit where it looked like Disney was going to roll over to Trump. We're like,
Right.
let's not talk about MCU stuff for a little bit.
Sure,
and
sure,
we did a couple weeks where we were calling ourselves DC University with the
That's
hope
funny.
that they would relent, and eventually they did. So
Yes. which was nice, but like there's always that chance. I mean, we reviewed Superman, and I'm sure we will behind
at
the
this
wall.
point, we really
Isn't Superman the best like comic
Yes.
book film in the
Yes.
Yes, like not even close, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
can I be completely frank with you? I think I like
Reese-
Superman more than any MCU movie. And
Like, period? Yeah.
Superman, I mean,
that-
AC and I talked about it. Superman, I think especially when it came out and how I was feeling,
Mhm.
certainly affected me more than any other comic book movie ever. Just about
Sure.
it, how radically it treats kindness as a
Yes.
radical.
Yeah.
That kindness is as radical an act as one
It's a
can do,
comfort movie,
which
for
I
me.
think like
Yeah, yeah.
that's
It's a
the thing that
comfort
I
movie,
find
yeah.
really
It's
appealing.
very rewatchable. Yeah.
Yeah. But no,
Incredibly
I mean, like,
rewatchable, yeah.
No, I'm completely on the same page as you, but also the funny thing is just like that probably cannot exist in its form without everything that happened
No,
before, which is like I think
absolutely
what we
not.
learned about
Yeah.
like what we say about any of these films.
Uh-huh.
But that said, yeah,
I mean, yeah.
DC is cooking.
But
Like
no,
Peacemaker, incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Peacemaker, yeah.
I mean, I feel like AC we're on the same. Where anything that's
1000%.
MCU or DCU we'll cover. We're probably going to cover most Star Wars stuff and like any other nerdy thing that
Andor,
comes up.
incredible.
Yeah. Star Wars stuff. Like, I mean, we'll see what Filoni does, but I don't know. I ain't like
most because we're not. Unless you want to, we're not talking season 2.
Can't
this
spell
time. I
Filoni
don't give
without
a shit.
phony.
We'll do Mandalorian
Yeah,
and Grogu because it's going to be a big movie. But other than that,
Oh, that's right. That'd be cute.
it's gonna be a big movie.
it's going to be a big movie insofar as it will be on a lot of screens.
Yes, it'll
Right,
be on
right.
a lot of screens. I just don't know. I don't know if that.
You really going to a theater for that?
Yeah, I mean, AC
Oh, you
or
have
me.
to for
Oh, that's Jake. That's Jake though.
Yeah,
like
that's
me,
going to the food movies.
Me,
so,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
fair,
go
fair.
because we'll probably do something on
Sure,
it.
sure,
but
sure.
but if it wasn't for that,
No.
I don't know if I'd be going. Generally speaking,
Well,
because
that
shit
yeah,
is a
that's
TV
what I'm
show.
curious
It's
about.
a
As like someone who's
TV
on the
show. It's
outside now,
weird.
like, do you ever like think like, oh man, I wish I didn't have to watch this?
With MCU stuff, no.
Okay.
I don't think I've gotten to that. I don't think I've gotten to that point with him. The only time where I said, "Oh my god, this is a piece of shit," was Secret Invasion. That was when it was like, "Yo, this."
That
is
was
a
the
real
one
piece of
MCU thing
shit.
where I'm like, I actually would rather not be watching this than watching it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like,
Yes.
but the thing with me,
That,
Roman,
is
like,
that the worst property in your
yes,
mind?
yes.
Like that?
Without,
they
I'm
ever-
saying
Oh,
not
yeah,
even
yeah.
close.
Without-
But I
not
think
even
that
It's not
yeah.
for
close.
me, you know, I can check my.
But
I can
Amelia
check my
Clark had all the
letterbox.
powers. How cool was that,
I can
guys?
check my letterbox stats, but I think I went to a
Christ.
movie theater 110
So
times
bad.
last year.
Yeah.
So
She
I'll
had-
see
man.
anything.
She
So,
had
like,
the wait, was it a Drax arm? I was about to say it was the steel jerk off arm, but it's not that.
no, but the
No, that's not what she had. But okay.
the thing is, I think a lot of the fun stuff we do behind the wall is I'll see a
Yes.
thing and I know AC won't see it, and I'm like, don't worry, I'll get someone on to talk about it because I'll say anything. I go to the movies at least once
of
a week.
course.
I
Yeah.
love it. I mean, I visited the fucking Bone Temple on Friday. Apparently, I was the only one according to box office returns, but I visited the Bone Temple and I had a really great time.
Well, folks are saying that's a good
It's
one.
a really good
Yeah.
movie. Once again, Nia DaCosta
Oh,
makes a
that's
sequel.
not how AC had his kids also?
Once again, Nia DaCosta directed a sequel that is
It's
also
like
a really
you
good
never
movie, but
left.
no one saw it.
Right.
But no,
Oh,
I'm
Jesus.
excited. I'm excited for this year. I'm excited for Brand New Day. I'm excited for Doomsday, and I'm excited for all the bullshit in between. Honestly, because the bullshit in between is I'm as a viewer, I'm most excited for
Yes.
those movies. As a podcaster, I'm way more excited for the bullshit in between.
Oh,
Because actually,
absolutely.
the podcasts, even though they're fine to do, and I like putting them out, I think the podcasts on this show that are least fun to do are the ones right after a big movie. Like, because there's no time
Oh,
to
yeah,
bullshit.
yeah.
Especially it's not that fun. We
Yeah,
just have
because
I
we're
actually felt like it was impressive that we were able to make something out of like Infinity War,
Yeah.
and like because it was just like, and then this
Mhm.
happened, which
Yeah.
it did, and we like found stuff that we had fun talking about, and having like the large panels were great, but
Yeah.
yeah.
no, they're not as interesting.
No.
Yeah,
But
they're
anyway,
very good
I
though.
feel like
Yeah.
I feel like we did.
yeah,
I
we got
feel like
90
we
minutes. I
went
think we're
down
good.
memory lane.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
feel
feels
like we
good.
went down memory lane. That was fun. Jerome, I want to thank you for joining us for this.
Yeah.
And making your presence felt in many ways as per usual. It's such a it's a
No, it was great
it's
chatting with you
a-
guys.
yes, 1000%. And I just personally want to say thank you, because I feel like, yeah, I mean, without you this doesn't happen, and without you we are not here today.
Mhm.
So
Oh, I mean,
so
thank you.
Mhm.
That's very kind. No,
no, but it's
yeah.
true
And,
though.
and it's
Like
and you're such a good friend for a lot of reasons. You're so kind and nice. And I also love every single time I see that gif of Drake in the wild, I can say I know the guy.
yes, that video is
Legitimately,
always playing
anytime it comes
somewhere.
up, and it comes up not infrequently. I'm like, you see that Asian guy in the foreground? Of course, I bet, but that's my friend.
No,
Jerome.
yeah. Of course. Yeah, no, it's crazy how often it comes up, and like I've been to like, from switching from like when I worked for the Raptors to like working at
Mhm,
the Athletic to working with No Dunks to like then now working on a show with my friends.
mhm.
I like it keeps on having to come up, and I have to keep on explaining what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful thing.
yeah.
Yes. So thank you for that, and
No,
thank you
thank
for
you guys.
joining
Thank you
us.
for asking me to be a part of this, and it was like such a fun
Course.
time. I think um very similar to like when you are cheering for like your favorite sports team that is like about to win a championship. Like it is infinitely better to get to do it around people who like share that same joy, and I think that's what like going through the Infinity Saga and Endgame, and even surviving together through all those Disney Plus shows,
Yeah.
and like making it through like some of those like posts, Endgame films and everything like that. I think that was just like it was a thing that like really made me feel up to like really enjoy it because I got to share it here with you guys.
Absolutely.
Yes. Wonderfully and beautifully said. And with that being said, Jerome, where can we find you, sir?
You found me here. Follow these guys. Keep on following them. They're gonna keep on doing it for as long as they want to, and as long as they should get to. So, absolutely, I know you're already listening here, but just keep on doing so because these guys have so much joy when it comes to doing this, and I got to be like so fortunate to be a part of it. I just said all these things already, but yeah, follow these guys. Keep on
Oh,
doing this.
oh, well, excuse me. Well, it's at Black Dragon Roll, where you can find them on all platforms. Hello, was it Hello and Welcome?
Hello and welcome's our show. Yeah, we cover
Yes,
the Raptors and NBA. Yeah.
Raptors and NBA. If you are a NBA fan or Toronto Raptors fan in particular, make sure you check those guys
Thank
out
you,
on
AC.
all of their platforms and all that good stuff. So thank you, Jerome, once again. Nothing but love, my friend.
Thank you.
And Jake, where can we find you, my friend?
At Jake Christie on Twitter, Jake Christie on Blue Sky, and then on TikTok, what's still doing a tweet a day at the Jake Christie. Today was episode 562. A lot of people are asking me again, like, "Oh, why didn't you do the Jabuki MLK tweet?" It's because I did that last MLK day. Stop! I've been doing the show for a while. Anyway,
You can follow me on Twitter at Anthony Canton _3. Follow the show on all platforms at MC University Pod. Bonus content. We are doing Batman and Robin this week, so that'll come out this week. We'll get into that, and then we'll pick our next movie franchise. We'll go to the Discord and let the folks vote on that. So if you like that, $3 and get all of our backlog of bonus content and such. And of course, if you're on the YouTube right now, please like, comment, and subscribe. Nothing but love. Appreciate y'all. Happy anniversary in advance to this show. We'll keep doing it for as ever long as we do it. But for Jerome Cheng and Jay Christie, this is Anthony Canton III. This is Marvel Cinematic University, and we will talk to you next time.